Hello world and welcome to World's End Tarot. This is something a little different. I am coming to you with a pick a card reading for the month of October. This is for earth signs. Those are Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. And that's going to be in our sun signs, our moon signs, or our rising signs, just depending on what you have in your own birth chart. I kind of feel like it would be quite nice to be able to see more than one reading and pick our own different types of messages for October. So hopefully this works. I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm going to be using pinecones today. So I think this is autumnal, and I got these on my latest walk. So this is the choice of acorn. What? Of pinecone for pile 1. And then we have the smallest one for pile 2. And then we have the medium-sized one for pile 3. If you hear anything in the background, that's just my dog. So what we're also going to do, not just pine cones, but we're also going to choose some cards from Sacred Destiny, Denise Lynn's Oracle card. Okay, here we go for pile 1. It came out straight away. So this is opportunity. I'll give you a closer look for these cards in a moment. And pile 2, please, for our earth signs. Here we go. We have courage. And for pile 3, for our earth signs, please. Oh, this one. We have pleasure. So let's have a closer look. This is for pile 1, opportunity. And for pile 2, courage. And for pile 3, we have pleasure. So, as usual, take your time. Let yourself be guided by the one that you are feeling the most drawn to at this time, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your October reading for the earth signs Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This will be for, as I said before, your sun, your moon, or your rising. So let's have a look at your reading. You chose the very large acorn. I'm going to put this to the side. And you chose the opportunity card. So let's pop this to the side and look at the tarot cards for your blessings for October, please. For my pile 1s. Wow, thank you. Beautiful. High Priestess coming out straight away. Absolutely gorgeous. And blocks, please, for pile 1. Oh, that one's coming up. Oh yeah, there we are. And advice, please. That one's coming up. We have the sun card and then overall. Okay. So let's have a little think about what's going on here for, let me move my chair in slightly so I can get more comfortable. October feels really good. Earth sign, pile 1. This feels good. This is going to be a month of healing, actually. And I'm saying that partly because I can see in your block, obviously, we have feelings of sorrow, feelings of grief, feeling of heartbreak coming through. I'm not necessarily saying that this heartbreak has to be because of a breakup of a relationship, but I certainly see this heartbreak is fundamentally coming from a reassessment of what your life was supposed to be like. And it's almost as if, I don't know, have you ever seen the film Sliding Doors? It's basically, I think it stars Gwyneth Paltrow and John Hannah, and it's about two versions of a woman's life because of one split thing that happened. And this is kind of coming up in here for me. I feel like there's some kind of regret happening in here. It's almost as if like this wasn't quite supposed to be how this was supposed to be. Things are meant to be different. I was expecting things to be different. These types of thoughts are what this heartbreak is showing up for me like. Although of course it could be that it's simpler than that, and it's more to do with something specifically about bereavement or a breakup. But essentially I think that the baseline feeling of all of those feelings really is just not really having expected life to have been quite like this at this moment in time. But I don't feel bad about this right now. Pile 1, I actually feel quite excited for you, because I do feel like this is going to be such a potent month of healing for you. Something about the energy in this reading, how it's showing up for me right now, is just, it's feeling like you are going to be making a lot of healing happening, partly because you're looking into the past and it's going to be in a healthier way, as opposed to ruminating on your own and yourself in a way that feels very singular and very lonely. Yeah, that's how it's coming up. And I'm saying that partly because this card of opportunity is just is ringing in new energy, new experience, new opportunity for you to move on and to grow and to continue on your life path. The High Priestess in your blessings, this is what got me really excited, because this is what I know is, it's ringing in this it's ringing in the opportunity for you to actually to do this inner work. You're ready to start doing this inner work now. We can talk for days and days about doing inner work, but essentially it doesn't happen until we're ready to do it. We can have aspirations that we could be ready to do it, but actually doing it is something, it's very different from talking about it. Walking the walk is a very different experience from talking the talk. And a lot of people, in fact, too many people talk the talk and don't really walk the walk in terms of doing those inner wisdoms, inner listening to their inner voices and doing that inner work, particularly when we're talking about healing work as well. And that's how I'm seeing this coming up. It feels like old wounds are really finally getting addressed, particularly childhood wounds, particularly there's some kind of opportunity for, well, possibly for some of us there's going to be opportunity to make amends with friendships that have fallen by the wayside. Getting back in touch with people maybe after the last couple of years. Maybe some of our friendships have been neglected quite severely. There's opportunity for us to reconnect again coming up in October. It's a really good sign of, there's like new shoots of growth, which is ironic because I know that that's more of a springtime vibe, but this autumn feels like a season of healing and letting go. Letting go anyway is a thing that happens in October, and autumn more generally, because it's the time when nature takes that deep breath before it goes back to sleep into the winter. But energetically this year, for me, it very much potently feels like an opportunity for healing. And I'm seeing that coming up for you, Pile 1. It's really, really beautiful. I would actually definitely encourage yourself every single day to listen to how you're listening in to yourself, like your inner voice. I'm trying to articulate this in a way that's not complete. Oh, it's difficult. I struggle sometimes with speaking when I do readings. I'm sorry. What's happening right now? Okay, so the High Priestess here, I'm seeing you really allowing yourself to feel how you feel without feeling any self-judgment about that. I'm seeing you letting yourself be in a position of power and have a boundary about your time and your energy and your space. I'm not saying that you need to be someone who's difficult to get in touch with. I'm not saying that you're self-involved or any of these types of things, because that's sometimes how this can manifest for some people. They mistake the self-involvement as being someone who's got strong boundaries, and often it's just someone who's frightened of intimacy. No, I'm not seeing it like that. I'm seeing someone who's not afraid of intimacy with themselves. So this is really about getting back to basics, listening to your inner wisdom, really listening to what's important to you, what you want out of your life, and then seeing opportunity where it is, because often if we're not in this place to accept opportunity is happening, we don't see it for what it is and we don't take advantage of the opportunity. October's got opportunity for you in lots of different ways to properly heal, to properly look to yourself about how you're wishing to grow and into the next phase of your life, the next chapter. The blocks for you, I need you to be careful, because there's definitely going to be a tendency for you to ruminate. There's definitely going to be a tendency for you to wallow and dwell. And I'm saying it's not necessarily the best way to conduct yourself this month. That is actually possibly going to be preventing you from making the most of the opportunities that are also going to be available. Yes, it is okay to feel sad, and it's okay to express that. In fact, if anything, it's extremely healthy to do that when that's happening. But some of us can get into a habit of doing it because it's familiar, it feels safe, as opposed to it actually being something that's useful. So this is something I'm seeing coming up here. And reason being, the sun is pushing through for our advice. This is about really seeing the glass half full, not half empty. It's going to take some effort on your part to do that, because this is definitely a skill, but you're definitely in the place where that's accessible to you. You have the life experience now that you're able to do this successfully without it being falling into a toxic positivity. It's something that you're going to be able to maneuver to work with these feelings of grief and happiness. I think that you're going to be feeling both. If you are bereaving somebody, if you're grieving somebody, that makes sense, because grief is an act of love when our loved one goes. But also I will say that with grief can sometimes come joy, and you can be very grateful for the time that you were given them as well. And it's a complicated time if that's something that's resonating with you. I want you to not be afraid or feel guilty about enjoying yourself. To let yourself take opportunities to laugh, to let yourself take opportunities to love yourself and look after yourself and listen to yourself, and not I just got this idea as well, like if you're lucky enough to live in a place that has some sun this October, please go out into the sun, okay? Just now as I was speaking, the sun just came through my window, and there were some beautiful rays of sunshine hitting the curtain on the side of my windowsill, and I just had this feeling of joy, and I thought that's what this sun card is also talking about. We're talking about getting back into nature and letting ourselves get those vitamin D sun rays, and seeing the world in a beautiful light. It will look the same as it did before, but if our attitude and our mindset has changed, very much a different experience, very much a nurturing growth experience is waiting for you this October. The overall message here coming in with a Six of Cups, I want you to be a bit more generous with yourself and with others, particularly if you're lucky enough to have older friends who you have missed and that you would like to rekindle a relationship with coming back into your life. Be generous with them and be generous with yourself. We've all had our shortcomings, and the last couple of years have all been very difficult for everybody. And I would like you to really think, if you are finding your mindset going back into yourself as a child, to really start to think about some of the ways where you could honor that younger self, and some of the ways that your younger self would be proud of where you're at right now. There's a lot of opportunity for healing, like I said at the beginning of the reading, and I see that this is going to be in both relationships with other people, and so it's very much two people involved in a healing relationship and a childlike joy coming into the life again, but also with yourself. This is a conversation that you can have with yourself. I'd love you to be doing some inner work about this inner voice talking about what remembering yourself as a child, remembering some of the joy that you took into your life as a child, the way that you saw the world as a child. That's going to help you take advantage and see those opportunities that might not be as obvious to us all the time. But this is kind of what October is going to be feeling like for you, pile 1. I wish you all the best with this. This is a really beautiful reading. If you enjoyed my reading and you'd like to see more, subscribe and I'll do more. But apart from that, I hope you have a wonderful October, and I will speak to you and see you very, very soon. Bye. Hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. This is the Earth reading for the month of October. This is for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in Sun, Moon and Rising, and you chose the Courage card with the smallest pine cone. So let's put this to the side and let's have a look at your tarot card readings as well for the month of October. Let's see, blessings for pile 2 please. Thank you. Oh. If you felt attracted to pile 1, there might be some messages in there for you as well, pile 2, but let's concentrate on this for now. Blocks please for pile 2. This one here. We have Page of Cups, okay. Advice please for pile 2. Wow. Overall, this is just me talking to myself, sorry. Overall messages for pile 2, please. I needed an extra card for you there, pile 2, just feel it. So, you're getting 10 of Swords coming up, as well as 2 of Cups, okay? So, let me see. I feel like quite a lot of us are having very similar experiences of October. There's nuance in each of the messages, however, but I am seeing some very similar themes coming through for October. And as I was saying in some of the other readings that I've done for the month, for both earth and water signs so far, October really does seem to be coming up as a month of healing for everybody so far. And that is definitely coming up in your cards for pile 2. Obviously, we have been attracted to the Courage card and the smaller acorn, and there's something about that for me where I'm saying acorn and I mean pine cone. I apologize. There's something about that for me, because I think acorn and pinecone in my head are becoming intertwined, because I'm thinking of that idiom, from small acorns mighty oaks grow, and I feel like that's something that you might need to hear right now, pile 2. Courage is definitely something that is attractive for you right now, because I do feel like for many of us that's something that we actually need. I think that I'm seeing that October for you, there is a struggle for you to experience self-love. I feel like that's something that you may not be feeling like you deserve. And I don't know why that is, because this is obviously a short and sweet and it's a general, and I don't know why that is, and that's going to be different for every single one of us. But I am seeing that there is some struggle for you to like yourself, and I'm sorry that that's something that's coming up for you this month. And I hope that me reading this is something that will help you to unpack that a little bit and not take it too much to heart, because there's also so many other things going on in this reading besides that particular block, and it is a block. The thing is we can unblock these types of things. We can relearn radical self-love, and start to give ourselves as much compassion as we would do to a good friend. So this is often what I would say if I myself am not really liking myself in a current moment. I would say to myself, would I really treat my friend this way? And I never would treat my friend the way that I sometimes treat myself, or think about myself, or talk about myself. And so that's something that I think everybody should be aware of. And I feel like this is what Page of Cups is talking to us about this month. Having the courage to love ourselves properly, even warts and all. Even though we don't like ourselves, we can still learn to love ourselves again. It's something that we should all be doing actively, because it is something that only ourselves can really do. It's not other people's jobs to love us like that. They're not living our lives. They're not in our own bodies together with us. Like, we're just one person. And essentially, we have to have our own back in terms of looking after ourselves. We are responsible for cleaning ourselves and brushing our teeth in the morning and getting enough sleep and making sure we get good food and giving ourselves compassion when we don't manage to do some of the things that we feel we should be doing. That is something that I want to bring up straight away in the reading. But there's some beautiful blessings coming through this month for us here, pile 2. You have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for healing the inner child that is coming through this month particularly. There is just an opportunity for reconciliation with yourself, and I think seeing yourself for who you really are, seeing yourself as that 5-year-old person before any of the big adult scary things come into the world for us as individuals. When we're children, life is a little simpler and things are easier to see. It's almost as if we can see ourselves more clearly as children. And I feel like that's something that is getting tapped into this month for you as a resource. It's really thinking, who was I as a kid? Like, what things did I enjoy? Did I think I'd ever feel this way about myself as a child? I don't remember having this much self-hatred. And I think it's a strong way to put it, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. And that's one version of events in terms of this reading, but there's another version of events that we're seeing people from our past coming back into our lives this month. For many of us, that's coming up. It's coming up in more than one reading, and I'm feeling that in the energy myself. I'm seeing forgiveness for maybe possibly falling off somebody's radar during the last couple of years for many different reasons, I'm sure. But also coming back into ourselves and like reconnecting with ourselves again, and reconciliation of ourselves and how far we've come and what we have actually been through for the last couple of years. It's not been normal, and some of that inner work does require courage, which I think is why this is coming up. But I also think that this courage is required for the practicalities of the experience that we're having in the external world as well. Because I feel like for you right now, pile 2, it's not just about the inner emotions. I'm also seeing that this is very much about the practicalities of life and how October's feeling in terms of actual material reality. I'm seeing that coming through here with Knight of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups and the 10 of Wands underneath it. Okay, how to say this? So let's go here with this, the overall. I am seeing you feeling very overwhelmed, very burnt out, very overworked actually, and not really necessarily feeling like the demands that are on you are particularly fair. And what I am seeing in terms of advice from Spirit about that is that you really do need to be a little bit more aware if you are in a partnership or a friendship or with your family, particularly those of you who are married, I would say, or in a long-term relationship. You do need to be a little bit more upfront with your partner about what it is that you need. And in order to do that, you actually have to get more in touch with yourself, because I feel like what you've gone and done is got into a pattern where you're not necessarily that self-aware of what you actually need in any given moment. You may not even be comfortable accepting help from other people, and you're going to have to get comfortable about A, working out what you need, and B, asking for it, because other people can't help you unless you really empower them to do so. Because I do think that I'm seeing somebody who usually really feels like they're in control, and that's a part of who they are. and they're not comfortable necessarily taking help from other people. And I'm seeing that with the Knight of Pentacles coming up here. This is someone I can see is working very, very consistently towards a goal or a number of goals that are in the material world. So I'm seeing somebody that's involved with investments and savings, or maybe working on a house, or working towards a promotion or a project being completed. You're someone who's kind of a workhorse, and you give the impression that you don't really need help, but I know and you know that's not true. So this month of October is an opportunity for you to be healing yourself. It's an opportunity for you to get to know yourself better. It's an opportunity for you to concentrate, yes, on your project and making sure that you're staying in your project the way that you want to be showing up for that, but also being mindful about the cost that is, that's actually having on you and your relationships as well. It's kind of isolating you slightly, pile 2, I would say, and you need to be a bit more courageous about asking people for help and being a little bit more comfortable with intimacy and sharing the load, okay? So pile 2, this was your reading for October. I hope you have a wonderful October, and I'd love to have you back here. If you want to see me back here, subscribe and I'll see you again. But until then, bye pile 2. Hello pile 3, and welcome to your reading for the earth signs for the month of October 2022. This is for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It's for your sun, your moon, your rising. And you chose the pleasure card with the medium-sized acorn. What? It's a pine cone. Oh my goodness. Okay, pine cone. So let's just put this over to the side and we'll have a look at your tarot cards. Okay, blessings for pile 3, please, for the month of October. Thank you. Oh my goodness. You have the Tower card coming up in your blessings. This is going to be interesting. And their blocks, please. Thank you. Okay. Overall. Oh, that's just very chatty. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys, can you be clear again? Oh my goodness, this is the most chatty tarot cards in a while, right? Okay. Advice, please, for pile 3. Thank you. Ah, okay. That's so nice. Okay, so this was the first card that fell out just now. It makes me feel better. And overall message, please. Okay, calm down. Overall message, please, for pile 3. What was there? Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, that makes sense. Right. The Empress was coming up here, but now we've got a Queen of Swords, which is a little bit more specific. Pleasure. Okay, pile 3, my earth signs. This month is going to feel really crazy, apparently. I don't know why or how, but the Tower card is a card that would infer that you're going to be having a lot of intense change happening very quickly, very suddenly, without any warning whatsoever. So, I mean, this kind of thing can happen in all kinds of different ways, but put it this way, 2020 was a year of the Tower, you know? I'm not expecting that in everybody's life to be as dramatic as that, but for the world, the Tower card was basically what 2020 was feeling like. Personally, on a personal level, a Tower card could be anything from moving house because you didn't foresee that you would have to leave, or a relationship turning into complete dust even though that wasn't something you were expecting. It could be losing a job very suddenly without any explanation or warning. There's those types of things are very much in the Tower energy. It is essentially very much a useful way when this card comes up not to be frightened of it, because I think whenever anything breaks, it is breaking because it has to release a negative energy that was not helping us in our lives anymore. So whenever anything in my house breaks, that's what we kind of know is the thing. Like, I'm like, oh, we needed that to happen. Like, If you guys are familiar with the Japanese art of kintsugi, which is the gold leaf, like glue, like that Japanese people use to piece together pottery that's been broken. There's something in there for me as well about the breaking of something in the house, which is very much the type of energy I see in the Tower card. I see that as being something that needs to leave your life and that is no longer serving you, and that it's time to go. So for having that coming up in your blessings area of your reading, it doesn't concern me, but it does tell me that you're going to be having a pretty exciting month. And that would make sense if the pleasure card is coming up. If you're looking for more pleasure in your life, I mean, more adventure, more risk, I suppose, like, but in like a good way, like, I don't know, more well, I'm not going to say it, but like naughty times or whatever. There's something going on in here about that, and that's not a bad thing. We all need to have these phases that we go through. What I will say is there definitely does seem to be, even though you're having this release of all this like kind of toxic energy or like destruction going on in the month of October, there is also a block coming through here with the Seven of Cups. You are almost like, how to say, it's like you become slightly static. It's like you don't quite know what to do with yourself. You don't quite understand how to proceed. It's like you kind of know what you want, but you don't know quite how to get to going with that. So it's like there might be an opportunity for you to try something new, but you're so like deer in headlights about that even having been a possibility in the first place that you don't even make a move. That's kind of how this is coming up with the blocks. It's like you have lots of different choices, lots of different instincts, lots of different things that you want to do, and everything's kind of extreme, and it's kind of, it just stills you down to the point where you're like not making a choice in the first place. So just be aware of that. That's kind of what's coming up here. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's a pretty normal reaction, I would say, to unexpected events that we'd feel like we come to a standstill. But here, I would say, be aware that that might be a reaction you have, and maybe try and take opportunities where they come into for fun or pleasure, particularly when pleasure's coming up. I mean, if someone's inviting you to a concert and you didn't expect to go that night, you're already in your pajamas, maybe you should just be like, yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna get back into my jeans and my jacket and I'm gonna go to the concert. I'm feeling like that. You may need to really sort of talk to yourself and be like, stop standing still, just like choose, just make a choice. You're not gonna make the wrong choice. You just have fun, okay? October seems to be a time for you to be having fun. Pile 3. I forgot which pile you were there. Sorry. This is a time for you to have fun though, okay? And this is saying that, you're also going to probably this is so interesting. It's just like there's so much energy going on here. It's going to feel uncomfortable, okay? Even though it's probably very good and very expansive, it's going to feel very chaotic quite quick, and it's going to be uncomfortable. You may even have some harsher conversations with certain people. You may feel like you're acting before thinking sometimes. You may feel like everything's happening is quite extreme. So extreme lows, extreme highs, and that can be expressed in your relationships. So I can see some of us having arguments with our loved ones a little bit more than usual. Just because the high pressure of the environment, I think, is going to lead to more of that happening. And essentially, I would try and temper that, because there's also an invitation here that is a very immature way to deal with stress, and it's also quite unfair on the people around us, because I'm getting from the Knight into the Swords and the Queen here. From the Knight into the Queen. The Queen is a graduation up into a much more mature, much more self-embodied type of energy here. This is someone who speaks her truth and her mind from a position of strength, who is quite ambition-led, who's someone who's thinking about the long term, who has an idea of their goals and their responsibilities. This is somebody who is they're thinking before they're speaking. Okay, so it makes sense that this is coming up here for the advice for your October reading. Even though you're going through all this extra stress, all this extra adventure, all this extra opportunity, and it's feeling quite crazy, you're gonna have this temptation to take it out on people around you and to be like kind of mean, possibly kind of thinking before speaking, and Spirit is really, really not recommending that at all. Like really very much trying to get you to a place where, despite the fact you're really high stress, despite the fact that you feel inexperienced possibly with the level of activity going on around you, that the best thing for you to do is to try and embody this feeling of the Queen of Swords, and really come from a place of intellectual maturity, to really feel quite self-contained, to really feel like you are understanding of your goals and what you need to accomplish them, and thinking about things in the long term, not just the here and now. Okay, that's a really good way of navigating October for you, pile 3. It sounds like it's going to be a really exciting month, though. It sounds like there's going to be lots of experiences that you've never had before happening, and I'm looking forward to that for you. I think that will be really fun, and yes, potentially quite frightening, but I think you should go with the flow and try and make sure that you're embodying the Queen of Swords at all opportunities. Okay, pile 3, I hope you have a beautiful, lovely October. I will see you soon. Bye.